Hello again, everyone. This is Chris here, and that's Robert Harding. This is the Citizen Sports Weekly for Thursday, June 5th, 2014.
Boom! Well done.
I know, it's like, when you get the date right.
At your age.
At my age,
good.
yeah. All right, look who's talking, Mr. Caught up to me by 1 year. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
So, anyways, we're going to talk about a couple sports topics that are, pretty active right now that people are discussing and waiting for. First thing we're going to talk about is the Stanley Cup. The New York Rangers are involved in. I know Robert wishes it was the Buffalo Sabres that he grew up rooting for, but it's the Rangers, our downstate team, and I'm sure there's a few Ranger fans around here in Auburn and Cuyahoga County. Not many, but a few.
Absolutely.
But last night they had a good chance to take Game 1 on the road against Los Angeles. They just couldn't come up with it in overtime. They had a 2-0 lead early. They couldn't hold on to it. They fell to the Kings, and I think the Rangers know that. I hate to use the cliche "must win," but I think they're in a must-win situation going into Game 2. What do you think, Robert?
I think Henrik Lundqvist is quite upset with his teammates.
Oh, I don't blame him.
After that third they didn't score, but they got 20 shots off in the period. Which if you're watching this and you don't know anything about hockey. That's a lot for one period.
It's a barrage.
And, I believe the Rangers only got like 3 shots off. I mean, it wasn't a great display in the third, and then, of course, they go into overtime, and Justin Williams has, pretty easy look, right from the slot there. So, I think Game 2 will be a big one for, I don't want to say must win because who knows what could happen in a 7-game series, but, losing 2 on the road and then going back home and, basically being in a position where, you can only lose 1 more to win the rest of the series. It's a big game coming up for the Rangers.
Now, the Rangers have been in some big holes before. They were down 3-1 to the Penguins, and they came back and won the last 3. And you could say that talent-wise, the Penguins are more talented than the Kings. The Kings are a very talented team. I'm not saying they're not. But I would say if you look at the teams on paper, that the Penguins, I think, are a little more talented. I mean, they got Sidney Crosby, arguably the best player in the game. They're a better team than the Kings are on paper. Yeah. That being said, the Rangers came back, won the last 3, and ended up advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals where they beat Montreal. So, the Rangers are capable. I really think that everybody seems to be, the experts seem to be picking the Kings because they're more talented, and that's understandable. But, the Rangers do have, I think, a pretty good goalie in Lundqvist, and nobody expected them to get this far. So it's like they're playing with house money. So I think if they can, even if they lose the next game, I believe, which is on Saturday, they go back to the Garden. They could possibly win the next 2 there and be right back in this thing. But like I said, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a good series. I think it's going to go 6 games. I think the Kings are going to win it in 6. That's my gut. I haven't heard from the gut in a while.
Yeah.
That's my gut prediction. Kings in 6. Although I wouldn't mind seeing the Rangers win because it's a good story.
Actually, on Twitter, I think it was after the Kings beat the Blackhawks in the Western Conference Final. I said, Kings in 6. Yeah. To your point about the Penguins, there's that saying that about good players and good teams.
Right.
The Penguins have very good players. They have Crosby, Malkin, of course, and some others, but. The Kings are the better team, and they've shown that. They, just 2 years ago, they won the Stanley Cup. So, with players like Anze Kopitar, of course, Jonathan Quick in net, American goalie at the Olympics this year, they've got a team that is going to be tough for the Rangers to handle. I mean, I think the goaltending kind of evens out. It really gets, comes down to, what are these teams going to do on offense? And, last night the Kings just had more of it. So we'll see what happens, though. The Rangers have some firepower there, too, so we'll see.
Yeah, you don't want to read too much into the first game because, it could be a sign, the Kings, decided to turn on the faucet and get cranking here. And then there's another sign that says maybe the Rangers, just a little bit of a slow start. They hadn't played in a while, maybe a little bit of rust, but they finished their series off, I think, in 6 games. The Kings went 7 and until Sunday night, so a little more rust to shake off for the Rangers. But like I said, I think this will be a 6-game series when it's all said and done, and I like the Kings. So And one last thing, Jeremy Morin, the Auburn native who played for the Blackhawks, did get a little playoff time. Wasn't there in the last game for the Blackhawks. We were kind of rooting for the Blackhawks because I guess if the Blackhawks had won the Stanley Cup, then Jeremy Morin, since he did play in the playoffs, would have been eligible to bring the cup, to get a day with the cup, which meant the cup could have been coming to Auburn, New York, which would have been amazing. Now, Dustin Brown, I believe is his name, plays for the Kings, is an Ithaca guy, and I know that he brought the cup to Ithaca a couple of years ago when the Kings won the cup. So, you know, there is a precedent for this, and it would have been nice to see the Stanley Cup come to Auburn, but alas, not going to happen. So
maybe next year.
Maybe next year. We can hope that. Now, our next subject is the Belmont Stakes, which is coming up on Saturday. It's 2 days away. And again, another chance. I believe this is the 13th opportunity for a horse to win a Triple Crown, which would be the first since affirmed in 1978 when I was a lad of 11 years old.
Wow.
5th grade, Mr. Parker's class.
There you go.
I remember it well. Very, very good times, man.
5th grade.
Lincoln Elementary School. What do you think I was in, like, working here back then? Come on,
you
man.
You never know.
But anyways, but California Chrome has a good chance. He's the odds-on favorite. You know, I mean, the Belmont is the toughest of the 3 races of the Triple Crown because it's a 1.5 miles. It's a true test, and we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I mean, you want to see history. I think if you're a sports fan, you like to witness history firsthand, and this is a great chance. I mean, California Chrome looks like it might have the best chance of any recent Triple Crown wannabes that have won the first 2 legs. So I'm rooting for California Chrome. It'll be a great chance to see something like this happen. I hope it does happen, but something tells me history is just going to repeat itself again, and it's not going to happen. That maybe, you know, General A-Rod might maybe step up. You know, one of the Derby, sometimes maybe the Derby favorites are one of the, you know, the horses that might have, you know, were one of the favorites of the Derby. I know California Chrome was the Derby favorite. When General A-Rod was a favorite too, might step up and maybe dash California Chrome's chances of winning the Belmont Stakes and the Triple Crown.
I'm rooting for California Chrome. I think he will win.
Okay.
You know, I think he's going to have some stiff competition, though. This isn't, you know, one of these Belmonts where you have 5, 6, 7 horses running. You know, they have a solid lineup of, I believe, 11 horses in the field. Yeah. You know, Wicked Strong is in the field.
Just going to say that. Yeah.
That's a horse there that you have to watch out for. That could be an interesting race down the stretch.
A spoiler.
Yeah. Right on Curlin also comes to mind. So, you know, California Chrome's going to face some stiff competition for when he vies for the Triple Crown on Saturday. And I'm looking forward to it. You know, the Belmont, as you said, is the toughest test. You know, you look back at the last 12 I should say, 12 attempts, and, you know, a couple horses, you know, when they're all have another, for example, didn't even run.
Right.
You know, you look back at what happened with Big Brown in 2008. Then you have to go back to Smarty Jones in 2004 when he finished second.
Yeah.
So, and there's been a few horses that have finished second. Real Quiet and Silver Charm, I believe, both did back-to-back years. So it's come close, but maybe 13 is the lucky number in this case. For
it'd be great. It would be great to see it. I mean, I think it'd be good for horse racing. It would be an amazing story to see something like this happen. So, anything else you want to add, Robert?
No.
All right.
I think we covered it. Horse racing and hockey.
Yes.
Who knew?
The ho-ho of sports. Anyways, folks, I'll end it with that lame joke. Thanks again for watching, and please, you know, tell your friends to watch our videos. We appreciate any type of support. And until then, I guess we'll see you next week, where we may have a special guest, possibly.
Yeah, maybe. We won't spoil it for you.
No. But if you like Skinny Atlas, you'll love this guy. So, anyways, folks, thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye.